Now, I assume when you clicked on this video that you probably already know who Peter McKinnon is, but for those of you who have been living under the proverbial rock, Peter McKinnon is a photographer and filmmaker that makes content here on YouTube about, well, photography and filmmaking. He got his first 1 million subscribers in just 9 months of having his channel. His content is really good. And his content has inspired so many, including yours truly, Daniel Schiffer, and a whole host of other people to start making content or start taking the content that we already were doing up to the next level. Now, in recent months, I've actually talked to several people who have said that they kind of got bored of watching Peter McKinnon's videos. They thought that it was just sort of getting dull and boring. What's really interesting is that in that same time period, I have actually started to like Peter McKinnon's videos a lot more. And one thing is because instead of learning the big macro type of filmmaking techniques or vlogging techniques, I'm learning, just watching his content, even if he doesn't make a video on it, I'm learning the subtle aspects of vlogging and filmmaking. And in recent months, I've actually been adding some of the things that I've been learning, and for the first time in a while, people have been saying, wow, your content has really just gone up to the next level in the past few videos. And what I want to share with you is one of the epic B-roll hacks that Peter McKinnon has used to keep his audiences more engaged. But before I tell you about what that is, let's first talk about B-roll. B-roll is basically secondary footage. B-roll is a term that comes from the days of film. You would have your A-roll, which was your vital content that had to be in the film, and then you had your B-roll, which was sort of to help break up the monotony of a single take A-roll. And today I'm going to be talking about the ways that we use B-roll on YouTube. I'm not a professional filmmaker, so I'm not sure exactly the methods of using B-roll in narrative or documentary films, but I know how to do it in YouTube videos and vlogs. So that's what I'm going to be talking about. And there are essentially two types of B-roll that we use on YouTube. One is overlay B-roll, and then the other one is interspersed B-roll, which is a term I kind of just came up with because I'm not sure what to call it. Basically, it's the clips between like your talking head segments, which break up your talking head segments. Traditionally, if you're doing a vlog, you have your talking segment, and then you have a few travel shots, or you have some cinematic B-roll, and then you go into your next talking segment. And what Peter McKinnon does is sort of fuse the two styles together. And I don't mean he just overlaid his epic footage over his regular footage, but one thing that you'll notice watching a lot of Peter McKinnon's latest videos is that you rarely ever see the beginning of a vlog talking segment or the end of a vlog talking segment, because he goes into and out of it using B-roll, the B-roll of him traveling, or his epic cinematic footage overlays the beginning and the end of each of the clips, and that gives it more of a smooth transition. So it's not just talking, then B-roll, 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 talking, but it sort of fades in and out like you would expect in real life. One thing that you're trying to copy when you're doing YouTube, when you're doing vlogging, is real life. If you make it too jarring and jump around too much, it kind of brings you out of the feeling of being there with the person. And Peter McKinnon using this hack, and the hack that I've been using in this video, really helps move into the next footage. Now, there's a few ways that he does this. I have to inspect my van today, so I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to pick this up. I wish I would have finished this yesterday. It is very sunny. It's beautiful, but it's not very good for video. Wow! Oh man. The two ways that I've been using is one, just filming your normal cutscenes, but instead of having like your talking segment, then go into your B-roll, and then talking segment, and then B-roll, what you do is you overlay the end of your B-roll over top of your talking segment. So whether you're doing cutscenes or the cinematic B-roll, you sort of have a more gentle transition from your B-roll into your talking segments. The second is the way I just did, where I ended my talking segment walking into a new scene, and then I picked up exactly where I left off in my next segment, putting those cutscenes or B-roll between it. And this is one way that Peter McKinnon started doing that I absolutely loved, because it kept everything flowing so much better. Why is it when you watch someone like Casey Neistat, where it looks like very basic stuff, but yet when you go out and try and copy it, it just doesn't work? And it's because Casey Neistat, Peter McKinnon, every other filmmaker who's making content on YouTube knows that it's the little subtle things that probably most people won't even notice that really sets you apart in your filmmaking. These two ways that Peter McKinnon's using, I don't think he's made a video on it. If he has, I haven't seen it. People have been talking about how my videos have gotten so much better in the last few months. And I really think that this B-roll hack is one of the things that has done that for me. Now let's talk about how to actually use it. Because I think sometimes I mention things, but then don't do a good job of explaining how to actually get the shot or edit the footage. And so I wanted to kind of explain that. Now, I want to make it clear, this is a style thing. This is not something that you have to do. This is something that if you're looking to take your videos to the next level, it's probably something to look into. Now, when you're filming these, there are two things that you absolutely have to do. One is keep your final edit in mind. If you're not thinking about your final edit, then you won't know what you need to do, how long of transition shots, whether you need to make them longer or they don't have to be as long. I would always suggest try and make them a little bit longer, because you can always cut them down. You can't always expand them. And the other thing to do is to keep your tone and your emotion and your inflection all about the same. If it's all over the place, if you're kind of like frustrated in one scene and then happy-go-lucky in the next, that's not gonna look very good. Kept up a pretty good similarity in my tone throughout the entire video. And if you're wondering how I do that, I literally just review my footage. I will go back and watch the end of my last one so that I can keep relatively the same inflection, relatively the same mood, the same tone into the next clip. Now, in the edit, there are a few things you need to focus on. One is you need to fade in and out your audio. If you want the B-roll and the talking to feel smooth in and out, you don't want to go somewhere where it's just like buds chopping all the way right into cause, just a hard cut. You need to have a fade so when your ear hears that, it sounds really good. Now, this actually goes into the shooting thing. You need to have a few seconds at the beginning of your clip in order to be able to fade in. So you want to record a few seconds before you start talking. That way you have enough white noise to be able to fade in and out of your segment. And the main thing you want to do when you're editing is just think about your audience. Maybe show it to someone and think about your audience and how to look for them, and think about real life. Would this look kind of natural in real life? Say you're spending the day with someone and you're going all over the place. You probably aren't talking to them and then traveling in a car or on a skateboard or something and then talking to them at the next location. You're probably talking to them throughout the entire day, little bits here and there. You can have some spaces of silence where you're not talking, but in order to give the impression of like talking to a friend, you want to be like chatting with them throughout the entire video. And the last thing you want to focus on in the edit is how can I do this better next time? Because as you're editing this stuff, you'll realize, ooh, I should have done that. Oh, I should have done that. So when you're in the editing program, think about it, look at it, and say, how can I do this better next time? And what can I keep in mind to make my next video look way better than this one? I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please give me a like, subscribe. Wait, Cody Wano says we should sign off a different way. What was that? No, it doesn't matter if you subscribe. It doesn't matter if you hit the like button. What I actually want you to do is watch this playlist that has 4 of my videos and watch every single one of these videos all the way through. If you want to help out my channel, that's going to be the best way to do it. But you can also subscribe as well, and I'll have another video out next week.